Hello, lovely people. This is Gypsy Spirit here with you, ready to give you your reading, your tarot reading for June 23rd through June 29th. And wow, it has been an amazing week. And the tarot cards that I read last week had the Wheel of Fortune card in it, meaning that there was going to be some changes. And I don't remember the other two cards, but I just remember that Wheel of Changes. And you know, when I read for you, I'm also reading for myself. And boy, did I go through some changes, because I've been working a job for 3 years, and I decided it was time for me to make a change. So the Wheel of Fortune was definitely in my favor last week. But we're going to go ahead and get started with the cards this week. And let's remember, we are still in full moon, okay? It's the waxing moon. And we're still releasing and letting go of things that are no longer serving us. And based on the cards that I'm looking at today, and I'll show them to you, it looks like there's been some sort of conflict in your life. And this is a general reading, so if it doesn't resonate with you, then, you know, it's fine. If you want your own personal reading, you can go to my website, make an appointment with me, so forth and so on. But it just looks like, especially in this moon phase right now, that we're in the last week of it. So it's like there's been some sort of a conflict, ongoing conflict in your life that you've kind of struggled with for a long time. You know, a pattern. I'm getting like there's been a constant pattern with different people or different situations in your life, and you're now beginning to see it. So you've got the Nine of Cups here. That's your first card. So if you can look, like there's in the background behind those cups, there's like a forest with trees, and it looks like you've come out of a stormy past, or some things that you've come out of some stuff. And you've been manifesting things that you've wanted for a long time. And sometimes it takes, you know, you might manifest something and you might not see it come into a reality for several years. Or other times it may happen right away. But in this, the Nine of Cups, you know, cups is all about, you know, it represents water, it represents healing, emotional healing, spiritual healing. So the things that you've been manifesting for a really long time, you've had to go through some healing before those manifestations can come into a reality. With it being a 9, that 9 being upright is advising you, all those things that you're manifesting, do not give up on them, because you know, it takes time, and you have to let go of one thing so that you can bring in some new energy, and those manifestations will start to become more clear for you. Now, the next card is the Six of Cups, and I'm going to tell you, you know, I always talk about personal stuff sometimes. I get a little personal with you people. That's okay. We're all friends, right? So the Six of Cups, again, we got 2 cups here. So this is all about, like, this last week of full moon phase, you're really going through some deep shit and letting go of some deep shit, because I'm going to get to the next card, and it's going to be a really good one for you. But let's talk about the Six of Cups for a minute. So in the background, you see the purple elephant with a butterfly. I love that. By the way, I'm using the Alice in Wonderland deck. And Alice is accepting a gift from the rabbit. and it's got all kinds of pretty things on it. Looks like some kind of a dessert, and they're in a field of flowers. So there's two things. Usually the Six of Cups is like you're reminiscing on things of the past. So it's like I said that this is different relationships. You may have the same pattern about things, but with different people. But you happen to notice that it's a pattern. So it's never about the other person. It's always about you. So whenever there's a breakup or something in your life, never look at the other person. Like when I went through my divorce, I could have sat down for weeks and told you everything my ex-husband did that was wrong. And, one day I was meditating and I just felt universe telling me, don't do that anymore, because universe is going to take care of my husband. That's what I was getting, the download I was getting. I needed to focus on me and what I needed to change, because when you're in a relationship, it takes two to tango, okay? So, but I'm going to tell you a funny story. Now, this is a funny story. So most of you that know me on a very personal basis, know that I was involved with a guy, I got involved with him, I think, in 2014. Yeah, 2014. And we split up. Well, we had ended in 2015. So I guess we were together in 2013. Yeah. So we were together for 2.5 years. Anyway, I was still going through healing. I mean, we go through things. We meet people in our lives, and those people are put in our lives to help us learn lessons, okay? And either you're going to get it, and if you don't get it, that same kind of person is going to come back into your life. May not be the same person, but be the same kind of personality. And you got to go through the lesson again, and you have to keep going through it again and again and again until you get it. Universe is like, well, I got something planned for you, but you just got to get this one thing before we can move you into the next phase of your life. So, so I told a couple of friends about this in the story. So I love to make tomato pie. I make the best tomato pie ever. So we had the full moon ritual on this past Monday, and it was wonderful. Shaman Jimmy and Seer Lisa, Seer Healer Lisa Tootin, their married couple, came, and it was just great. But I was going to make tomato pie for the full moon ritual, and I made other things, but I just didn't have time to get to the tomato pie. So on Tuesday, which was the following day, I was off at home, and I decided I was going to make a bunch of food for my son and I to eat for the whole week. And one of the things that I made was tomato pie. And I make it good. I put bacon and it's lots of cheese. It's really good. So I've been having a lot of problems with my work. The owner of the company that I work for is very much like the ex-boyfriend. The only difference between the ex-boyfriend and the owner of the company that I'm working for is that the owner of the company is not fucking me. I mean, like literally physically fucking me. It's the only difference between the two. I mean, they're both just very narcissistic. Anyway, so I'm making this tomato pie, and all of a sudden I had a memory of something that happened when I was with the ex-boyfriend. And I had just been living with him for like a month, or maybe a month and a half or 2 months at the most. And there was somebody from his family had come into Charleston to visit, and they were having a big family gathering. And he told me that he did not want to take me to meet his family, it would have been the first time, because he was afraid that his family would think that, here he goes again, just one woman after the other. And that should have been a red flag, right? So, but it wasn't. That's how stupid I was. but I made him the tomato pie because I didn't want him to go to this party, this gathering, you know, without anything. So I made the tomato pie for him, and it was one of my very best ever. And 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 I didn't think about it at the time. I remember my feelings being kind of hurt, like, you know, what, this is not right. But I just went with it because I didn't want to argue with him. And then when we broke up, I was still living in the house, and I was still wanting the relationship to work out. You know, we had a lot of problems, and I wanted to try and fix things. And again, another family member came to visit the family, and he did not invite me to take me along, which before you know, he did get to a point where he was taking me around to the family functions and stuff. But this time, because we had split up and, you know, we were, I guess, sleeping in separate rooms, and he didn't want to take me. But I still made him a tomato pie so that he wouldn't go, you know, he didn't want to, I didn't want him to go without anything. And in making the tomato pie that second time, I was really hoping that he would see, you know, how much I really cared, and maybe want to try to work things out. But anyway, that didn't happen. So, speed up a little bit. So Tuesday, I'm making this tomato pie, and I started thinking about the ex-boyfriend and the tomato pie experience. And and as I am making it, I'm like, that motherfucker. He did not want to take me to meet his family after he had moved me in, and I was living there for a month and a half or 2 months. I was good enough to live with. I was good enough to fuck every night, but I wasn't good enough for him to take to meet his family. And in spite of all the problems that we had, I wasn't good enough in the end to come, you know, meet this new family member or whatever. So I was like, wow, you know, and part of the healing that I had to go through from that relationship was learning to have self-respect, self-love, and integrity for myself. Because over time I realized that the reason why I continued to hook up with guys like that was because I didn't have any self-love or self-respect. And so that really triggered something in me. And there's a lot of things that have happened on my job. I've been demoted, and I've been the longest person there than anybody else. And out of 3 years, I've only called in 1 time. I've always been very loyal, you know, a go-getter. And so, but the owner is very, he has his own issues. I'll just go with that. And so I went to work on Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. And I saw something that they had done to me in my work that just really spoke volumes to me about how they did not value me, they did not respect me. I was just, as my friend Lisa Tootin puts it, I was just a warm body. And even the owner that week was calling me, asking me to come in to one of the stores, and he said, you know, we just need a warm body, you know. And so that's all I was to him, a warm body. He didn't care about any kind of loyalty that I had presented to him any more than the ex-boyfriend cared, you know, when I'm making the tomato pie for him to take to his family, you know. And wow, that when I realized what they had done to me on my job, I called them up and I said, I'm giving you a notice, I'm done. And I remember talking to a friend of mine that morning and telling her what was going on. And she said, do not quit while you're angry. Wait, wait till you cool off a little bit and then decide whether or not you want to quit. And I did. I cooled off a little bit. I was like, okay, it's not the end of the world. And I began to see things in a whole different perspective. And I realized that, yes, I needed to quit because I was no longer they didn't value me. And if I would have continued to stay there, then I would just be repeating the cycle all over again. Lowering my self-respect, my self-esteem, my integrity to stay with a company that thought so little of me. So I quit. And I just want to look at, I want to show you this card again, because something is like this may happen to you this week where you have a memory or a thought about something, and it's like somebody wanting to give you somebody from your past that's going to pop up. It could be, a memory, like I said, or it could be actually physical, and they want to try to make some kind of amends with you or try to make things better, but it's not going to be for you to help you. What's going to happen, because you see this purple elephant and the butterfly. The butterfly is really awesome. When you reject what this person has to offer, and you will, or when you think about what that person did to you, and you realize where you're at today, that's where the purple elephant comes in, because you're going to realize how much you've grown. You're going to see how much you've grown, how much you've evolved over time. And that butterfly, honey, that's you. You're ready. This card is telling me that you have got the lesson that you needed to learn from that experience with that person, whoever they may be. A person from your past, or in my case, both a person from my past and me having to see it all over again from a different perspective. And sometimes, I guess, universe had to show me two same personalities, but one of them was romantically involved and the other one was not. And so I had to see it without being romantically intertwined and everything. You know what I'm saying? So, honey, you are growing, you're evolving. All whatever memory or visitor from your past, you're going to see it in a whole different light, and you're going to be able to move forward. And that is where the good stuff comes in at. This is your Ace of Swords, baby. Conflict. Swords is conflict or chaos in your life. And the Ace means that you have come to a sound resolution to whatever that conflict is. So I'm getting that all these things that you've been manifesting over time, maybe you weren't ready for it to happen, because there were some lessons that you needed to learn, something that you needed to get, even though the manifestation has always been there. And look at the storm that you had to go through. And so now, you're manifesting, and that 9 is advising you, don't give up. Keep moving forward. You're going in the right direction. It's going to happen. But the 6 of Cups, you're going to see this week, with it being in the last week of a full moon, oh my goodness, a full moon phase, you're going to see the lesson that you needed to learn from that person of your past, so that you could heal and move forward, so that you could see things in a different perspective. Perhaps maybe have developed some self-love or self-respect. I don't know, everybody's different, so that I told you my story. But from all of that, you've got this Ace of Swords. So the Ace of Swords is really going to give you clarity and what you need to do and how you need to go about it in order to bring your manifestations into a reality. And it might just be one little manifestation or whatever, but the power that you're going to obtain because you're releasing something that has not been serving you for a long time. And now you're bringing in a whole new energy with this Ace of Swords. It's going to really give you clarity and understanding. So this is really good. Really excited for us all. Great way to end the full moon phase so that we can get ready to bring in what energy lies for us with new moon. Thank you for listening. If, like I said, if you want your own personal reading, you can go to my website and schedule a personal reading. Now on Mondays, here, if you're here in Charleston, on Mondays we have tarot and tea. So we do high tea and I read your tarot, and it's all by love offerings. So if you're in Charleston, you can definitely call me and make an appointment for that at 843-575-9243, or go look at my website, gypsyspiritcharleston.com. If you're getting this in a newsletter, then you know what to do. Thank you so much, and I hope that you have a very blessed week and lots of growth to you. Okay? Until next week, I'll keep you in my thoughts. Bye-bye.